Farley, and I'm the director at the Cobblestone Museum. With me today is Erin Anheier, and we're working on an episode of History at Home. Erin's going to tell us today about a Singer Featherweight Sewing Machine she has in her home. So, Erin, give us some more information, okay?
Okay. I never intended to buy this machine. I happened to be at an auction and it came up for sale. It hadn't been advertised as being at the auction, so I don't think there were a lot of people who sew or collect antique machines were there. So I picked it up so reasonably that I thought, why not? And then it sat in my sewing room for a couple of years and I ignored it. But particularly since we've been staying at home more, I pulled it out and cleaned it and oiled it and lubed it and started using it. And I have to admit, I really like it for patchwork, which is what I usually do. It's a very nice little machine. I know they've been popular for a number of years, particularly with people who like to go places and take classes in sewing because they're so portable. And of course, it's called a featherweight, so it only weighs 11 pounds. That makes it really nice. And it comes with its own carrying case, so that makes it easy to transport it. I'm going to show you my machine now.
While you're moving your camera, I'll just say that sewing machines have been coming in handy for a lot of folks that are using them to create the coronavirus masks that we're all wearing for the next unforeseen future.
And that's actually the reason I thought about talking about this machine. I've been making masks on it, but also in the blogs that I read, a lot of people have been saying, well, I don't normally sew, but I wanted to make masks for my family. So I remembered that Grandma's sewing machine was in the closet. And a lot of those Grandma's sewing machines that are being pulled out are actually Singer Featherweights. So I thought maybe there's somebody that's listening to this that says, you know, I've got one of those in my closet. Let's take a look at it. So my featherweight was made in 1939. Featherweights were made from 1933 to 1961 in the United States. And they continued into the late 60s in Scotland and in Canada. And those models are a little bit different, including some different. The American ones are black, like this. They have some beautiful decals on them. And in order to know if you've got a Singer Featherweight, there's really two things that'll really tell you. The first one is this lift-up table. That folds up so that it goes into the carrying case very nicely. There is another Singer from the 30s that does have a table like this, but it's much shorter. And then the other thing to be able to tell it from that model is the motor that's in the back. Let me walk around so you can see that a little better. So if it has that lift-up table and it has a motor and it says Singer, it's a Singer Featherweight. Like most things that are become collectible, somebody in China started making a reproduction, but it does not say Singer on it, thank goodness. It says Mini Classic on it, but other than that, it looks like a Singer Featherweight. And I've never seen one myself, but everybody who I've talked to or read blogs about who has one says it's a terrible sewing machine, so don't get involved with one of those. I think the Singer sewing machine or Featherweight is really quite attractive because of the decals on it, kind of an Art Deco effect. And the end plate, I think, is just beautiful with that lovely scroll work on it.
I think you said earlier when we were talking before, you said that the Singer company made about 3 million of those over a 30-year period or so, right?
Yes, I've read between 3 and 3.5 million. So there's a lot of them out there. They're pretty simple mechanically, so they're very easy to open up, to clean, to lubricate, etc. Comparing it to my modern machine, which probably has a few hundred different stitch patterns on it, this only makes a straight stitch. It goes forward, it goes backwards, and that's pretty much all it does. And it requires more maintenance. About every 8 hours of use, they recommend that you oil it. There's 17 places to oil, whereas my modern machine has one, and you don't need to do it that regularly. So if you're gonna get one or you're pulling Grandma's out of the closet, be sure to make sure that it's oiled and lubricated. And if you do that, it'll probably last for just about ever. I mentioned that people like to take them to classes because they're portable. They did come with this travel case. My travel case is in very poor condition, but it will give you an idea. The machine would set down in the bottom, and then this tray would hold your foot control and all your accessories. Because it's in such poor condition, I don't use it. But I'll tell you a trick that a friend told me. Get an old cooler bag. It fits in there beautifully. And then you have a nice shoulder strap too.
Looks like it would give it a little more protection too in case it gets bumped.
Yeah, it's a little more padded.
Right. Well,
Now I said it.
Go ahead.
I said it goes forward and backwards, but there are other things you can do than just regular straight stitching. Of course, I do patchwork, and that's all I need to do. But it did come with several attachments. Mine has 6 different attachments, and I actually had to label them because some of them looked so weird I couldn't figure out what they were doing. I have a bias binder, I have a blind stitch attachment, I have a narrow rolled hemmer, I have a tucker pin tuck attachment, I have an adjustable hemmer, and a featherweight ruffler gathering attachment, which is just an incredible mechanical little device. So if you wanted to sew garments, there's certainly a lot you could do with it.
I guess.
If somebody wants to learn more about them or needs parts or wants to get a diagram for how to maintain them, the website that I recommend is singerfeatherweight.com. It's singer-featherweight.com. Not only do they sell parts in case you need those, but they have a lot of educational videos on how to use the machine and how to maintain the machine. And to demonstrate how easy it is to maintain one of these, most of those videos are done by children. So it's kind of entertaining too.
Very good.
I can't think of a whole lot more to say about it, except that if you have one, pull it out, lubricate it, and enjoy it.
For sure. Thank you very much, Erin. A great episode of History at Home. So have a pleasant day.
You too. Thank you, Doug.
Bye.